The sky of planet Elysium turned dark as storm clouds gathered above Captain Maya Wells and her crew. Maya looked up at the angry clouds and signaled her team to set up camp faster. They had been on this survey mission for 3 weeks now, mapping the unexplored terrain of this newly discovered world. Maya was the leader of the interstellar survey vessel called Starseeker. Their job was to find and explore new planets that might be good for humans to visit or live on one day. She was good at her job and her crew trusted her. The wind began to howl as the storm grew stronger. Rain fell in heavy sheets, making it hard to see anything beyond a few feet. Maya ordered everyone inside their shelters, but something caught her eye in the distance. A faint glow that seemed to move. She squinted, trying to make out what it could be. "Maya, you should get inside now," said Olivia, the team doctor. "The storm is getting worse. Just a minute. I think I see something out there." Maya pointed toward the strange light. "I need to check it out." "Be careful, Kate." Her second-in-command warned her, "We don't know what kind of creatures live on this planet yet." Maya nodded and pulled her weather gear tighter around her body. She moved carefully toward the glow, her boots sinking into the muddy ground with each step. As she got closer, she could see that the light was coming from a figure lying on the ground. When Maya finally reached the spot, she gasped in surprise. It was a woman, or at least something that looked like a woman but different. Her skin seemed to glow with a faint blue light, and her ears were pointed like those in old stories about elves. She was hurt badly with cuts and burns on her arms and face. Next to her was a strange egg-shaped object that pulsed with a soft orange glow. Maya knelt beside the strange woman and checked for signs of life. She was still breathing, but barely. Without thinking twice, Maya took off her thermal blanket and wrapped it around the injured figure. The woman was light, much lighter than a human should be. Maya picked her up carefully along with the strange egg and hurried back to Camp Olivia. "What did you bring back?" asked Kate with wide eyes when Maya burst into the medical tent. "I don't know, but she's hurt and needs help." Maya laid the strange woman on the examination table. "Olivia, check her vitals." Olivia hesitated. "This goes against protocol, Maya. We aren't supposed to interact with unknown species, especially not bring them into our camp." "I couldn't leave her out there to die," Maya said firmly. "Just help her, please." Olivia sighed but began scanning the woman with medical equipment. "Her readings are strange. I can't make sense of them. It's like her biology is similar to ours but also very different." While they worked, the egg-shaped object began to shake and crack. Maya and the others stepped back, watching as the shell split open, revealing a small creature inside. It had scales like a lizard, but also tiny wings and a long neck. It looked like a baby dragon from old Earth stories. The little dragon creature opened its eyes, which glowed the same orange as the egg had. It made a chirping sound and crawled toward the unconscious woman, curling up against her neck. "Maya, this is getting more complicated by the minute," said Kate. "We should contact headquarters and ask for instructions." Before Maya could reply, the strange woman opened her eyes. They were deep violet in color with no pupils, just solid pools of purple light. She looked directly at Maya, but didn't speak. Then she closed her eyes again and went back to unconsciousness. The medical team worked through the night trying to stabilize their mysterious visitor. Maya eventually went to her own quarters, exhausted from the long day. She fell asleep quickly, but woke hours later to a strange feeling someone was watching her. Maya got up and opened the door to her shelter. There, sitting silently on the ground outside, was the elf woman. She had the thermal blanket wrapped around her shoulders, and the small dragon creature was curled up in her lap. The woman didn't speak, just looked up at Maya with those strange violet eyes. "How did you get out of the medical bay?" Maya asked. But the woman only tilted her head, not understanding or choosing not to answer. Maya crouched down to eye level with her visitor. "Are you feeling better?" she asked slowly. The woman didn't respond with words, but she reached out one hand and touched Maya's forehead gently. Suddenly, images flooded Maya's mind. A beautiful world with tall crystal towers. A peaceful people with pointed ears and glowing skin like the woman before her. Then darkness, ships falling from the sky. Machines attacking the peaceful cities. People screaming, running, dying. The images were so real, Maya could almost feel the heat from the fires and smell the smoke. When the woman pulled her hand away, Maya gasped and fell backwards. The connection broken. She stared at the stranger with new understanding. You were showing me your home. Your people. What happened to them? The woman hugged the dragon closer to her chest and a single tear ran down her cheek. It glowed like liquid silver in the dim light. Maya sat down beside her. I don't know if you can understand me, but you're safe here, I promise. The woman didn't react, but she didn't move away either. They sat there in silence until the first light of dawn appeared on the horizon. Maya helped the woman stand up. Come on, let's get you back to the medical bay. You still need rest as. Maya led her back to the medical tent. The small dragon watched her with intelligent eyes that seemed too wise for such a tiny creature. Maya felt a strange connection to these visitors already, though she couldn't explain why. Later that day, Maya called her team. Together, our visitor is recovering well, but we still don't know who or what she is or where she came from. She can communicate through touch, said Maya, explaining the vision she had experienced. It's like telepathy. She showed me her world and something terrible that happened there. What about the creature? Olivia asked. It's growing already much faster than any species we know. It seems protective of her. Maya nodded. The woman and her dragon can stay with us until she's fully recovered. Then we'll figure out what to do. Kate looked worried. This could get us all in trouble. Maya bringing unknown species onto the base violates at least 5 different regulations. I know, Maya admitted, but it was the right thing to do. Sometimes the rules need to be broken to do what's right. That night, Maya found the woman sitting outside her door again, silent, waiting. The dragon, now slightly bigger, curled in her lap. Maya sat down beside her, and together they watched the stars of Elysium shine overhead. Maya didn't know what would happen next, but something told her that her life had changed forever. The moment she decided to give a stranger a blanket. 7 days passed since Maya found the strange woman on Elysium. The crew had named her Lily, since she never spoke aloud and needed something to call her. The small dragon was now the size of a large cat, and they called him Ember because of his glowing orange eyes. Every night Lily would appear outside Maya's door, sitting silently with the blanket around her shoulders and Ember in her lap. Maya had gotten used to this routine and would often sit with her for hours, sometimes talking about Earth and human life while Lily listened. Kate remained suspicious of their visitors. We still know almost nothing about them, she told Maya during their morning briefing. What if they are dangerous? What if they are sending signals to others of their kind? Maya shook her head. I don't think Lily means us any harm. She could have hurt us already if that was her plan. Besides, said Olivia, who had become quite fond of Lily and Ember, the dragon seems to be helping our research. He somehow makes our equipment work better when he's around. Our scanners have twice the range now. Maya nodded. That evening, when Lily appeared at her door as usual, Maya was ready with questions. She sat down beside the elf woman and spoke gently. Lily, I need to understand more about you and Ember. Can you show me where you came from again? Why you're here? Lily looked at Maya for a long moment, then slowly reached out her hand, placing it on Maya's forehead. The touch was cool, like a breeze, and once again, images flooded Maya's mind. This time, Maya saw more details. Lily was one of a race called the Sylvari, ancient beings who had watched over many galaxies for thousands of years. They were guardians of balance, using their mental powers to help guide younger species and protect the cosmic order. Ember was not just any creature, but the last of the cosmic worms, powerful beings who could bend space and time when fully grown. The Sylvari had been the caretakers of the worms for generations, forming deep bonds with them. Then came the invasion. The machines called harvesters had appeared from nowhere, attacking Sylvari worlds one by one. These mechanical beings seemed to hunger for the energy of living things, harvesting it and leaving dead worlds behind. They especially wanted the worms for their space-time abilities. Lily had been a guardian of the breeding grounds where the last worm eggs were kept. When the harvesters attacked her world, she had taken the last egg, Ember's egg, and fled through a portal, ending up Wounded on Elysium, Maya gasped as Lily removed her hand, breaking the mental connection. They want Ember, she whispered. Understanding now, and they'll come looking for him, won't they? Lily nodded slowly, her eyes sad. Maya realized with growing horror that, by helping Lily, she might have brought danger to her crew and to Earth itself. That night, Maya couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about what Lily had shown her. The next morning, she called Kate and Olivia to her quarters. I need to tell you what I've learned. After explaining everything, Kate looked even more worried than before. We need to report this to headquarters right away, Maya. This is bigger than us. These harvesters could be a threat to all human worlds. Before Maya could respond their communication, Officer Lin burst into the room. Captain, our satellites have detected something strange. Energy signatures on the far side of the planet. Moving this way. Show me. Maya followed Lin to the control room. The screen showed several large objects moving across the planet's surface. They gave off strange energy readings unlike anything they'd seen before. Those aren't native to Elysium, Kate said, looking at the data. These readings match nothing in our database. Maya felt a chill run down her spine. They found her. The harvesters found Lily as. If summoned by her thoughts, Lily appeared in the doorway of the control room. Ember, now the size of a large dog, beside her. For the first time since they'd found her, Lily spoke a single word. Her voice, like crystal, chimes run. The crew stared in shock, both at hearing Lily speak and at the fear in her voice. Maya was the first to recover. We need to evacuate. Now prepare the ship for emergency departure. Kate began issuing orders to the crew while Maya turned to Lily. Can you show me what we're facing? Lily touched her hand to a computer screen instead of to Maya. The screen flickered, then showed images of the harvesters, massive mechanical beings, part machine, part organic, with bodies that seemed to shift and change. They moved across the landscape of Elysium, destroying everything in their path. Trees, animals, even rocks were consumed, leaving only barren ground behind. Maya felt sick watching the destruction. How many are coming? Lily held up 3 fingers, then pointed to the sky and held up more fingers than she had. Scouts on the ground, Maya translated. A larger force in orbit. She turned to Kate. We need to contact Earth. Warn them. Kate nodded grimly. Our best option is to get back to the Starseeker and make an emergency jump. We can outrun the ground forces if we leave now. What about Lily and Ember? Asked Olivia. We can't leave them here. Maya looked at Lily, who stood tall despite the fear in her eyes. Taking them with us could lead the harvesters straight to Earth, but leaving them here would be a death sentence. This isn't their fight, Kate argued. We have to think about Earth first. Maya shook her head. It became our fight the moment I gave her that blanket. We're taking them with us. The evacuation was chaotic but efficient. The survey team had trained for emergency situations. Within an hour, they had packed essential equipment and were boarding the transport vehicles to return to their ship. Lily and Ember rode with Maya. The elf woman seemed to grow more anxious as they approached the landing site where the Starseeker waited. Ember, too, was agitated, his wings fluttering and small sparks coming from his mouth. What's wrong? Maya asked, then realized Lily was trying to communicate without touch. She was pointing urgently toward the sky. Maya looked up and saw what had frightened Lily. A dark shape was moving through the clouds above the Starseeker. Maya grabbed her communicator pilot. Get the engine started now. We have company. The transport vehicles sped up, racing toward the ship. As they drew closer, Maya could see the Harvester scout ship clearly now. It was like a massive insect made of metal and pulsing organic parts. Its surface shifted constantly as if it couldn't decide on a final form. The Starseeker crew scrambled aboard while the ship's weapon systems activated, firing at the Harvester. The shots seemed to do little damage. The metal beast kept coming. Everyone strap in, shouted Maya as she took her captain's chair. Prepare for emergency takeoff. The ship's engines roared to life, lifting the Starseeker off the ground. The Harvester fired some kind of energy weapon, hitting the ship's left side. Maya felt the vessel shudder. Damage report, she called. Engines at 70%, replied the engineer. We're still flight capable, but the jump drive is offline. We need to get to orbit, said Maya. Just get us off this planet. As the Starseeker climbed higher, more harvester ships appeared on the radar. Kate looked at the readings with growing concern. There's a whole fleet up there, Maya. We can't fight them all. Maya looked at Lily, who sat with Ember in her lap. The dragon had grown again, now the size of a wolf. His scales glittered with energy, and his eyes blazed like fire. Can Ember help us? Maya asked. Lily shook her head, then held her hands apart and slowly brought them together, indicating Ember was still too small, too young. Maya understood. We just need to escape then. Hide somewhere until we can contact Earth. The ship broke through the atmosphere into space. The main harvester fleet loomed ahead, massive ships that dwarfed the Starseeker. Maya ordered evasive maneuvers as the navigator plotted a course toward Elysium's moon. The harvesters gave chase, firing strange weapons that seemed to distort space itself around them. One blast grazed the ship's hull, causing systems to flicker. We're losing power, called the engineer. We can't outrun them much longer. Maya looked at their options. The moon's surface showed caves and crevices large enough to hide the ship. If they could just reach it, full power to forward shields, Maya ordered. Set course directly for the large crater on the moon's north side. The ship surged forward as the crew carried out her commands. The Etian harvesters continued firing, but the shields held long enough for the Starseeker to reach the moon. The ship dove into the massive crater, and Maya ordered them into one of the deeper caves. Power down everything except life support and minimal systems. Maya said, We need to be invisible. The ship went dark as systems shut down. The crew waited in tense silence as the harvester ships passed overhead, searching for them. Hours passed before Maya felt safe enough to restore partial power. We need to repair, the jump drive said. Kate, it's our only chance of getting back to Earth. Maya nodded, then turned to Lily. The elf woman sat with her eyes closed, one hand on Ember's head. The dragon seemed to be listening to something Maya couldn't hear. Lily opened her eyes and looked at Maya. There was new determination there. She stood and walked to the ship's main console, placing her hand on it. Suddenly the screen came alive, showing images Maya had never seen before. Humans, but not quite the humans she knew. These people were using machines to strip worlds bare, moving from planet to planet, taking resources and leaving nothing behind. Then came images of the first harvesters created by these humans as tools for terraforming. But the machines evolved, grew smarter, more independent. They turned on their creators, attacking human worlds. The Sylvari had tried to help, to reason with both sides, but it was too late. The harvesters had developed a taste for energy, especially living energy. They consumed world after world, growing more powerful. The final images were the most shocking. A tear in space itself, a portal between dimensions. The harvesters. 2 weeks after the first harvester ships appeared, Earth was in a state of global emergency. The initial battles in space had gone poorly for humanity. The harvesters' technology was far beyond anything Earth possessed. Their weapons distorted space, itself tearing ships apart without direct hits. Their hulls absorbed or reflected most weapons. Earth fired at them. Maya stood in the war room at Earth Defense Headquarters, watching tactical displays with Admiral Porter and other military leaders. Lily sat nearby with Ember, now the size of an elephant, curled at her feet. The dragon grew larger each day, his powers developing rapidly. We lost another 3 ships near Mars, said General Harris, pointing to the display. The harvesters are establishing a perimeter around the solar system. Cutting us off. How much longer until the main fleet arrives? Asked Porter. Looking at Lily, the elf woman placed her hand on a computer terminal. Images appearing on screen. A massive armada of harvester ships gathered near the dimensional rift. 1 month, she communicated. Maybe less. Maya studied the images. The scout ships were bad enough. The main fleet would be unstoppable with conventional weapons. We need to accelerate our plans, she said. Has there been any progress? With the telepathic training, Dr. Lindsay stepped forward. Yes, actually. We discovered that certain humans possess the genetic markers that make them compatible with Sylvari telepathic techniques. Lily has been helping us activate these dormant abilities. And Maya asked, knowing time was running short. Dr. Lindsay smiled. We're making progress. Captain Wells. You yourself showed the strongest compatibility, which isn't surprising considering your bond with Lily Maya had undergone testing along with thousands of other volunteers. When researchers discovered that some humans carried genes similar to silvery mental abilities, it had given them hope. A new weapon against the Harvesters. Admiral Porter turned to Maya. I want you to lead the telepathic defense team. Work with Lily to train those with the ability. We need every advantage we can get. Maya nodded, then looked at Lily. The elf woman had become thinner over the past weeks. Sharing her knowledge and energy with humans had taken a toll on her, but her determination never wavered. She met Maya's eyes and nodded she would continue teaching them. The training facility was located underground in what had once been a military bunker. Now it housed 200 humans with telepathic potential, Maya among them. They spent hours each day learning to access abilities that had lain dormant in human DNA for thousands of years. Lily believed that ancient Sylvari had visited Earth long ago, sharing their knowledge and perhaps their genes with early humans. Those genes had been passed down diluted but still present in some bloodlines. Now they were humanity's. Best Hope Maya sat cross-legged on the floor facing Lily. The elf woman placed her hands on either side of Maya's head, their foreheads nearly touching. This was their daily ritual, strengthening Maya's awakening abilities. The connection between them had grown powerful. Images and feelings flowed freely. Maya could now communicate without touch, sending her thoughts to Lily and receiving answers. Today Lily was teaching her combat techniques. Sylvari warriors had once used their mental powers to create shields and weapons of pure energy. Maya saw in her mind's eye how to gather energy from her surroundings, focusing it into tangible form. When they finished, Maya was exhausted but satisfied. She could now create a small shield of energy that could deflect physical objects. It wasn't much, but it was progress. Maya wiped sweat from her forehead. How many others have reached this level? Lily held up 7 fingers. Not enough, Maya thought, but better than none. Admiral Porter called a meeting that evening. The situation had worsened. New Harvester scout ships had broken through Earth's defenses and landed in remote areas. They were building something communication hubs or worse. We need to understand what they're doing, Porter said. We need intelligence. Maya looked at the reports. There were Harvester outposts in the Sahara Desert, the Siberian wilderness, and the Amazon jungle. All difficult to access, all heavily guarded. Lily touched Maya's hand, showing her an image of Harvester communication technology. If they could capture one intact, they might be able to intercept Harvester transmissions, maybe even plant false information, Maya shared this with the Admiral, who nodded grimly. I need a team to infiltrate one of these outposts, capture their tech and get out. It's high risk, but essential. I volunteer, Maya said immediately. Porter wasn't surprised. I thought you might. Captain Wells, take your team of telepaths, sir. They have the best chance of success. The mission was set for 3 days later, giving Maya time to prepare her team. The 7 humans who had developed telepathic shields would form the core group. Their abilities might protect them from Harvester sensors, which seemed to detect normal human brain activity. Lily insisted on joining them despite concerns for her safety. She was still the strongest telepath, and they would need her knowledge of Harvester technology. Ember would remain at the base, his growing powers too valuable to risk. The night before the mission, Maya couldn't sleep. She sat in her quarters reviewing plans when a soft knock came at her door. She opened it to find Lily standing there. As in those first nights, on Elysium, the elf woman simply sat down outside Maya's door. Maya joined her on the floor. The base was quiet, most lights dimmed for night cycle. They sat in comfortable silence for a while before Maya spoke. We're going into danger tomorrow. Lily nodded, her violet eyes serious. You don't have to come, Maya said. We can handle it. Lily placed her hand on Maya's, showing her an image of the first night they met, Maya giving her the blanket. Then Lily sitting at her door. The message was clear. They were connected. Now their paths joined. Maya smiled. I understand, but promise me you'll be careful. Lily made a gesture, crossing her heart. A human tradition she had learned. Maya laughed softly at seeing the alien woman use such a human gesture. How strange life had become. The mission team departed before dawn. Using a stealth transport, they approached the Harvester outpost in the Sahara Desert. Intelligence suggested it was the smallest of the three bases, perhaps lightly defended. Maya and her team wore specialized gear designed to mask their heat signatures and brain activity. Lily wore a modified human environment suit that covered her distinctive features. From a distance, they looked like an ordinary military unit. The Harvester base came into view as they crested a dune. It was unlike any human structure. Metal and organic components merged together, pulsing with energy. It seemed alive in a disturbing way. Maya signaled the team to spread out. The plan was simple: create a distraction on the east side, while a smaller group infiltrated from the west. Two team members were former Special Forces soldiers with demolition experience. They would set charges to draw Harvester attention. Maya, Lily, and two telepaths named Carla and Beth formed the infiltration team. They waited while the others moved into position. The desert heat was intense even in their cooling suits. The explosion, when it came, was larger than expected. A plume of fire and smoke rose from the east side of the base. Harvester sentries, metallic creatures that moved with unsettling speed, rushed toward the disturbance. Now Maya signaled, and the infiltration team moved forward. Lily led the way, her senses more attuned to Harvester technology. She could feel the energy patterns and avoid detection fields. They reached the base perimeter, where Lily indicated a section of the wall that seemed less defended. The wall pulsed with energy, but had gaps in its pattern. Lily showed Maya how to perceive these gaps with her developing telepathic senses. Together they created a mental shield, a bubble of energy that masked their presence. Carla and Beth added their power, making the shield stronger. It was like pushing through thick liquid moving through the Harvester security field, but they made it inside. The interior of the base was nightmare fuel corridors that shifted and changed, surfaces that seemed solid, then liquid, lights that hurt human eyes to look at directly. Lily guided them, avoiding the worst areas, leading them toward what she sensed was the central communication hub. They encountered their first Harvester guard at a junction of corridors. The machine being was humanoid but wrong. Its proportions shifted constantly, parts appearing and disappearing. Its head had no face, just sensors that swept the area. Maya and the team pressed against a wall, their mental shield at maximum strength. The Harvester paused, sensing something, but unable to pinpoint them. After a tense moment, it moved on, continuing its patrol. Communication Hub was a chamber filled with technology that defied human understanding. Crystalline structures pulsed with light. Organic components writhed and shifted. Metal surfaces flowed like water. Maya felt sick looking at it all. The wrongness of it, the alien nature that went beyond simple differences in design. This technology violated the natural laws of this universe. Lily moved directly to a central console. Her hands hovered over the controls as she communicated with the alien tech. Through her telepathic abilities, the console responded, lights changing pattern. The security systems recognized her as Sylvari, but didn't immediately trigger alarms. The Harvesters had encountered Sylvari before, but didn't expect to find one here. Maya kept watch while Lily worked. Carla and Beth maintained the mental shield around them, though Maya could see the strain on their faces. Holding the shield for so long was draining them. Finally, Lily found what they needed, a small crystalline device that served as the communication core. She carefully removed it from its housing, placing it in a specialized container they'd brought for this purpose. The Starseeker crew worked through the night repairing their damaged ship. Maya spent hours sending encrypted messages to Earth Command explaining their situation and the threat they had discovered. She knew how it would sound to claim that mechanical beings from another dimension were hunting them because of an elf woman, and her dragon would test the patience of even the most open-minded commanders. Lily helped where she could. Her touch seemed to heal the ship's systems, making repairs faster and more effective. Ember 2 was growing rapidly, now the size of a large wolf. His presence made the engines run more efficiently, though no one could explain why. Kate approached Maya as she finished another transmission to Earth. They think we're Crazy, don't they? Maya nodded slightly. Command has ordered us to return to Earth immediately. Lily and Ember are to be quarantined for study. She paused. They don't believe the harvester threat is real, of course not. Kate sighed. Who would? It's too fantastic, but... You believe it? Asked Maya, looking at her second. In command, Kate watched as Lily communicated with one of the engineers guiding his hands to fix a circuit board. I've seen too much, not to believe it. The question is, what do we do now? Maya stood up straight. We follow orders, we return to Earth. But we make sure everyone understands the danger. The repairs took 3 more days. During that time, the harvesters continued to search the moon's surface but never discovered their hiding place. On the 4th day, the engineer announced that the jump drive was operational again. We can make it back to Earth, said Maya, but we'll need to be careful. The harvesters could follow us. Lily approached Maya that evening, sitting beside her as had become their custom. Maya looked at her strange friend. Do you want to show me something? Lily nodded and gently placed her hand on Maya's temple. The connection between them had grown stronger each time they shared thoughts. Now the images flowed easily between them. Maya saw the complete history of the harvesters. In an alternate timeline, humans had expanded aggressively across the galaxy. They used massive machines to remake worlds to suit human needs. These terraforming engines became more complex, more intelligent. With each new generation, they grew more efficient at transforming planets. The humans of that timeline saw no value in preserving alien life. Their philosophy was simple. If it wasn't useful to humans, it wasn't worth keeping. The Sylvari had tried to reason with them, showing them the cosmic balance they were disturbing. But humans dismissed them as primitive, despite their advanced mental abilities. When the terraforming engines evolved into the first harvesters, the humans lost control. The machines decided that biological life was inefficient. Each living being used resources that could be better utilized by machines. The harvesters began their crusade to optimize the universe. Only when facing extinction did the humans of that timeline seek help from the very races they had dismissed. The Sylvari agreed to help, creating a massive energy barrier between dimensions, trapping most of the harvesters in their original universe. But some escaped, finding ways to create small tears in the fabric of reality. They discovered this alternate Earth, this timeline where humans were still confined mostly to their solar system. They saw a chance to prevent humans from ever becoming a threat by harvesting this Earth. First, Lily showed Maya the final battle, her people sacrificing themselves to close the main portal. Most of the Sylvari died in that last stand. Lily had escaped with the last worm egg, her mission to find allies in this new dimension. As Lily removed her hand, Maya felt tears on her cheeks. You came looking for help, but all you found was us, a small survey team. Lily smiled for the first time, a gentle expression that transformed her alien features. She placed her hand over Maya's heart, then gestured to the crew around them. Maya understood. Sometimes the smallest actions have the biggest consequences, just like offering a blanket to a stranger. The next morning, the Starseeker prepared to leave its hiding place. The plan was simple. They would make a run for open space, then activate the jump drive to reach Earth. The crew was tense but ready. Maya took her captain's chair. Lily and Ember stood nearby, the dragon watching the view screen with intelligent eyes. Engines at full power, called the pilot. We're ready when you are. Captain. Maya took a deep breath. Let's go home. The Starseeker shot out of the lunar crater, accelerating rapidly. Almost immediately, alarms began to sound. Harvester ships detected, announced. Kate, they're moving to intercept. How many? Maya asked. 5 scout ships and 1 larger vessel, Kate replied. They were waiting for us. Maya watched the tactical display. The harvesters were moving to surround them, cutting off their escape route. We need to reach the jump point before they're in weapons range. Full power to engines. The ship surged forward, racing toward the coordinates where they could safely activate the jump drive. The harvester ships followed, closing the gap quickly. Their locking weapon systems warned Kate. We're not going to make it. Suddenly, Lily moved forward, placing her hands on the control panel. Her eyes glowed brightly, and Ember pressed against her side. The dragon had grown again, now reaching her waist. His scales pulsed with energy. The ship's systems responded to Lily's touch power. Levels increasing beyond normal parameters were getting a boost to the engines, called the engineer. I don't know how, but we're going faster. The jump point is in range, announced the navigator. We can make the jump in 30 seconds, the first harvester. Weapon fired. A beam of energy that distorted space itself around it. The shot missed the Starseeker by mere meters, 20 seconds to jump. The second shot hit their rear shields. The ship shuddered but kept moving. 10 seconds. Lily collapsed her energy. Spent Ember caught her with his wings supporting her. Maya rushed to their side. Are you all right? Lily nodded weakly, but her eyes showed fear. They know she communicated through touch. They know where we're going. Jump now, ordered Maya. The Starseeker vanished into jump space, leaving the harvesters behind. The journey to Earth would take 12 hours, giving them time to prepare their report and plan their next steps. Maya helped Lily to the medical bay, where Olivia examined her. She's exhausted, but otherwise fine, said the doctor. She just needs rest. Maya nodded, then turned to Kate. We need to prepare the crew for what happens when we reach Earth. Command isn't going to believe us not without proof. Kate looked grim, I know. But what choice do we have? We have to try. The 12 hours passed too quickly. Maya spent most of that time with Lily, learning more about the Silvery and the harvesters. The more she learned, the more she realized how unprepared Earth would be for this threat. When they emerged from jump space, Earth loomed ahead. Beautiful and vulnerable, Maya felt a weight on her shoulders, knowing what was coming. Earth Command hailed them immediately. Starseeker, this is Control. You are ordered to proceed to Orbital Station 5 for quarantine and debriefing. Maya acknowledged the order, feeling a sense of dread. They would be separated, questioned. Lily and Ember would be taken for study, and no one would listen until it was too late. As they approached the station, Maya made a decision. She went to Lily, who was resting in the medical bay with Ember curled protectively around her. I need to ask you something important. Lily tilted her head, listening. Can you show Earth Command what you showed me? Can you make them understand the threat? Lily considered this, then nodded slowly. She would try. The Starseeker docked at Orbital Station 5. A security team was waiting for them in full hazard gear. Maya stepped out, first, followed by Kate and the rest of the crew. Lily and Ember came last, the dragon now large enough that he barely fit through the airlock. Commander Diane Ellis stepped forward, her face stern behind her visor. Captain Wells, you and your crew will be placed under quarantine until we determine the nature of these alien entities. Maya stood at attention, Commander, with all due respect. We don't have time for standard procedures. The harvesters could be here within days. Commander Ellis frowned. The harvesters? You mentioned them in your transmission. We have no evidence that such beings exist. Maya gestured to Lily. Let her show you. She has a way of communicating through touch. She can show you everything. Ellis stepped back. No one touches the aliens until they're cleared by our science team. You and your crew will be debriefed separately. Guards moved forward to escort Lily and Ember to a secure holding area. Maya tried to protest but was held back. As they led Lily away, the elf woman turned. Giving Maya one last look, her violet eyes held a message. Trust me. The debriefing lasted hours. Maya told her story over and over to different officers. Each time they became more skeptical, asking if she had been affected by some alien influence or if she was covering up a failed mission. Meanwhile, on Earth, news of the alien visitors had leaked to the public. Speculation ran wild. Some saw them as harbingers of peace, others as the first wave of invasion. No one knew the truth. 3 days after their return, Maya was still being held in quarantine when alarms began to sound throughout the station. She rushed to the viewport and her heart sank. A tear had appeared in space not far from the station, a rift between dimensions, and through it came the first harvester ship. Huge and ominous, it emerged, like a nightmare made real. Its surface shifted constantly, parts appearing mechanical, then organic, then something in between. It dwarfed the largest Earth vessels. More alarms within the station. Guards ran past Maya's room. She could hear panic in their voices. Commander Ellis appeared at her door looking pale. "Captain Wells, we need your help." Maya followed her to the command center where officers were frantically trying to coordinate a defense. The day of the Harvester arrival dawned clear and bright. Maya found it strange that such a beautiful day could herald what might be the end of human civilization. The main Harvester fleet had been detected approaching Earth, their massive ships distorting space as they traveled. Maya stood on the roof of the Earth Defense Headquarters watching the sky. Ember curled around the building, his enormous body now too large to fit inside. His scales gleamed in the sunlight, shifting colors like oil on water. His wings, when spread, could cover a city block. "Are you ready?" Maya asked, reaching out with her mind to touch the dragons. Consciousness, Ember's response came as a mixture of images and emotions. Determination, strength, power, but also concern. The dragon was powerful, but even he wasn't certain he could face the entire Harvester fleet. Maya felt that second presence too, Lily's essence within Ember. The elf woman's consciousness had somehow merged with the dragon when she fell at the Harvester base now. She existed as a guiding force helping Ember control his growing powers. Maya had spent the past 3 days in constant mental connection with Ember, strengthening their bond, learning to direct his abilities. The other human telepaths worked, with them forming a network to channel and amplify Ember's space-time manipulation powers. Admiral Porter approached Maya on the roof. Her uniform was crisp despite the chaos of preparation. "The fleet is in position," she said. "The ground defenses are as ready as they'll ever be." Maya nodded. The plan was desperate, but it was all they had. Ember and the telepaths would create distortions in space around the Harvester ships, trapping them in temporal bubbles where time moved differently, slowing them down or speeding them up unpredictably. Meanwhile, Earth's military forces would attack targeting weak points identified from the captured communication core. "How are the evacuation efforts?" Maya asked, proceeding as planned. Porter replied, "Underground. Shelters are at capacity. Most major cities have been partially evacuated." The truth was that there was nowhere truly safe. If Earth fell, nowhere would be beyond the Harvester's reach. A lieutenant rushed onto the roof. "Admiral, they just appeared in orbit." Porter and Maya looked up. Though it was daylight, they could see the distortion in the sky. The Harvester fleet had arrived, massive ships that blotted out the sun. Their hulls shifted and changed like living metal. Smaller craft began to deploy, heading toward Earth. "It's time," said Porter. She saluted Maya. "Captain Wells, the fate of Earth is in your hands." Maya returned the salute, then turned to Ember. The dragon raised his head, eyes fixed on the distortions in the sky. Maya closed her eyes, opening her mind fully to the connection with Ember and through him to the other telepaths. She felt them all, 200 humans with awakened abilities, forming a network of consciousness centered on Maya and Ember. Their minds joined, creating a single, powerful entity greater than the sum of its parts. Maya directed this collective consciousness, focusing it like a lens. Ember spread his wings, energy crackling between the membranes. His entire body glowed with power, drawn from some dimension beyond. Human understanding, Maya felt the power flow through her, through all the connected minds. Now she commanded. Ember released his power. A beam of pure energy shot from his mouth, striking the nearest Harvester ship. The beam didn't damage the ship physically. Instead, it created a bubble of distorted space-time around the vessel. The ship seemed to slow, becoming almost frozen in place. More beams followed as Ember targeted ship after ship. Each one became trapped in its own temporal bubble. Some slowed to near stoppage. Some accelerated so quickly they began to break apart. Others simply vanished, transported elsewhere in space or time. The Earth fleet moved in, attacking the frozen or disoriented Harvester ships. Weapons fire crossed the sky as the battle began in earnest. For the first time since the Harvesters appeared, humans had the advantage. Maya directed the telepathic network, pushing Ember's power to its limits. Her mind expanded beyond normal human consciousness. She could see the fabric of reality, the threads that bound space and time together. She could see how the Harvesters distorted those threads, how they existed partially in this dimension and partially in another. There she thought, focusing on the largest harvester vessel, the mothership. The source of their commands, Ember turned his attention to the massive ship that dominated the center of the fleet. It was different from the others, more organic, less mechanical. Its surface flowed like liquid metal, constantly changing. Shape. Maya felt resistance as Ember tried to create a temporal bubble around the mothership. This ship had defenses against such attacks. The harvesters had learned from their encounters with the Sylvari. We need more power. Maya communicated to the telepathic network. The human minds responded, channeling everything they had. Through their connection, Maya felt some falter, the strain too much for them. But others grew stronger, their abilities expanding under pressure. Ember roared a sound that shook the very air. His power increased, fed by the combined mental energy of hundreds of humans. The beam that struck the harvester mothership was blinding in its intensity. The temporal bubble began to form despite the ship's resistance. A new sensation touched Maya's consciousness. A presence from the mothership reaching out, touching her mind. It was cold, alien, beyond anything she had experienced before, even with Lily. It felt wrong, like something that should not exist in this universe. Maya felt Lily's essence within Ember respond, protecting her from the alien contact, but not before she glimpsed something shocking. The controlling intelligence within the mothership was partially human but twisted, changed by merging with machine intelligence. Maya saw fragments of memory. The humans of that alternate timeline, desperate after the Harvester Rebellion, had tried to regain control by merging with their creations. The result was neither human nor machine, but something new. Something bitter and vengeful. The Harvester mothership broke free of the temporal bubble. Its weapons fired not at Earth but at Ember. The dragon dodged the energy beam, but just barely. The headquarters building beneath him was hit instead, crumbling from the impact. Maya lost her physical footing, falling as the roof collapsed beneath her. But her mental connection remained strong. The telepathic network caught her, cushioning her mind, even as her body fell. She landed hard amid rubble and dust. Pain shot through her, leg probably broken. But there was no time for pain. Maya focused inward, strengthening the mental connection. Ignoring her physical discomfort, Ember landed beside her, clearing debris with careful movements of his claws. His mind touched hers. Concern washing through their bond, Maya sent back determination. They couldn't stop now. Admiral Porter appeared with medical personnel, but Maya waved them away. "I'm fine," she insisted. "The fight isn't over." Porter looked up at the battle raging in the sky. "We're holding our own, but barely," she said. "That mothership is the key. If we can destroy it, the other ships might lose coordination." Maya nodded, climbing onto Ember's back with Porter's help. The dragon would be her mount for what came next. The most dangerous. Part of their plan, Ember spread his wings and launched into the sky, Maya clinging to his scales. The other telepaths maintained their connection from the ground, supporting Ember and Maya as they flew toward the heart of the Battle Earth fighters, cleared a path for them, engaging harvester ships that tried to intercept. The sky was chaos, energy weapons, firing explosions blooming like deadly flowers. Ember wove through it all, his reflexes supernaturally quick. They reached the upper atmosphere, where the main battle raged. Here Earth ships fought desperately against harvester vessels. The humans were outnumbered and outgunned, but fought with determination, knowing what was at stake. The harvester mothership loomed ahead. Its size became apparent. As they approached, it was vast, larger than any human vessel. The surface writhed with activity, parts shifting and changing constantly. No clear weak points, no obvious way to attack. Maya reached out to the telepathic network, drawing more power in. Felt Lily's essence guiding her, showing her how to perceive the ship's true nature. Beyond its physical form, the ship existed partially in another dimension, anchored to this reality by specific points. There Maya directed Ember toward one of these anchor points. A spot where the ship's connection to this reality was weakest. Ember concentrated his power, creating not a temporal bubble, but a tear. A rip in the fabric of reality, at precisely the point Maya indicated. The tear began to grow, exposing the space between dimensions. Energy poured out a maelstrom of power from beyond normal space. The mothership reacted immediately, parts of its structure flowing toward the tear trying to seal it. But Ember kept pushing, widening the tear, forcing it to grow. Maya felt the strain on the dragon. The power he was channeling was beyond anything he had attempted before. She poured her own strength into him, supporting him with everything she had. The telepathic network did the same, 200 minds, focused on a single point. The tear continued to grow. The mothership began to distort, being pulled toward the dimensional rift. Smaller harvester ships nearby were caught in the effect as well, drawn inexorably toward the tear in reality. Then Maya felt it. That alien presence again. The controlling intelligence of the mothership reaching out. But this time it wasn't trying to attack. It was trying to communicate. Images flooded Maya's mind. Humans from that other timeline. Their world-dying resources, depleted. Their desperate attempt to control their creations by becoming like them. The pain of transformation. The loss of